Hello, good day. Today we're going to cover how to use the MetaMask extension. So once you've downloaded it and pinned the extension here, you can put it up just by double clicking. Now personally, I like to expand the view just because if you navigate away from this tab, the window will disappear. So to keep it open, simply click on these three buttons here and go to expand view. That will bring it up in a separate tab. Now we're going to cover the basics of how to use MetaMask. If you want to deep dive, you can read the documentation from the official MetaMask page. They also have YouTube videos and different courses that you can study. Now the simplest thing you can do with MetaMask is to simply send or receive Ethereum or Ethereum tokens. So once you have received some tokens, they should populate here. You can also import tokens that you don't already have in your wallet. You would just need the contract address, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit, but you can add tokens that you don't have there. But once you do receive them, they should automatically populate here. If they're, most of the popular and heavily traded coins with a big market cap will be here. Sometimes if it's a token with a very low market cap, you would need to get the contract address and manually import it. Like I said, we'll show you that in a minute. So to receive tokens, it's very simple. You just copy your address here. And you can send tokens from either a centralized exchange. You can share the address with a friend or a company and receive tokens like that. Or you can send it from another wallet address, as I'm doing here. So simply click send, and we'll input the public address that we just copied, and now choose how much you want to send. You can input it here. So here's our balance, so we can send up to 0.0207888884 ETH. If you click here, it should automatically put in the maximum that you can send, and that will also take into consideration the gas fee, because you do need a certain amount of Ethereum to send ETH or any other token. And the amount you will have to pay is going to depend on how busy the network is at the time. So in this case, I'm going to send a little less. You can manually input the amount that you want to send here. And then we would press next. Now here they're using the market fee, and there's some other options. So if you just click here, you can see that you have the option to set a lower fee that you would like to pay. And this can be fine if the network is not congested. You can also set it to aggressive. That will increase the fee. That will allow your transaction to take priority, and it should get sent quicker. You can also go to advanced and manually put in the amount that you want to send, as well as the priority fee, if you really want to make sure your transaction gets priority. So for now, I'm just going to set it to aggressive, and it'll show you the total, and it'll show you the amount of fee that you're going to have to pay. Then you just confirm, and that's it. You'll see it here pending. Now you have the option, if it does take a long time, to either cancel this or speed it up, and you would have to pay an additional fee. But sometimes, especially if you set the fee to low, it could potentially take a long time or even not go through at all. So you do have that option to speed it up. And that's the basic receive and send function. As you see, our transaction has already arrived. And you can see your activity here. It says it's confirmed. So MetaMask has come a long way from when they first started. You can actually swap from token to token directly from MetaMask instead of interacting with a third-party decentralized application like Uniswap or SushiSwap. You can also bridge from other networks, and we'll go over that a little later. But you can basically bridge to a different network such as Arbitrum or Optimism. In these cases, Arbitrum and Optimism are layer 2 blockchains. So if you can click on this, you can actually buy and sell directly from MetaMask using third-party service providers that are affiliated with MetaMask. So you can buy directly most times with a bank transfer or debit or credit card. And so previously you would have to use a centralized exchange such as Binance or buy the tokens on a decentralized exchange such as Uniswap. But the problem with that, you would have to get funded first. So there was, in the early days of crypto, you would have to have somebody send it to you, or there were sites that allowed you to trade with other crypto traders. But it was just, an arduous process. So it's a lot easier now. You can do it directly from MetaMask. You would click here, and this is actually going to bring up the MetaMask portfolio page, and there's a lot of other options here. The bridge that I told you about, they have staking, but we'll go over that in another episode. But as you see here, we can buy and sell directly from the MetaMask portfolio. And I would advise you to navigate to the portfolio site directly from your MetaMask browser to avoid any chances of being phished. And for now, we're not going to cover the bridging or staking. We'll cover that in later episodes. So to buy, you would just choose your jurisdiction here, the country that you're currently in. And I mean, you could use a VPN if you wanted to bypass, because there's certain restrictions on which country you're in. They're available in quite a number, in pretty much most of the countries, I do believe. There are some that you may not be able to use, and the actual service providers will vary depending on which country you're in. So to buy, I would simply choose one of these providers and just follow the prompts, and you can buy directly with your credit card or bank transfer. And you would just follow these prompts, and it's just as simple as that. I'm not going to go through with it, but you would just ask for whatever information. You would submit whatever information they're asking for. Here you can see you can use card payment, bank transfer, Google Pay. In some cases, you may have Apple Pay. Like I said, it varies depending on the country you're buying from. and the service provider. And you can also sell any assets that you have. Now, most of the major cryptocurrencies you should be able to sell. Some of the lower market cap cryptocurrencies you may not be able to sell directly here. I'm not really sure, as I've never attempted to sell any low cap coins from here. So if that is the case, that you can't sell any low cap coins, you would also just have the option to go to a decentralized swap exchange such as Uniswap or SushiSwap and first transfer that into a coin like USDT or Ethereum, and then you could just sell that. So that would be another option. So as I said here, once you have some tokens, they should populate here. Now, if you want to add a token, you would click import tokens here. And most of the times the coins should populate if you just enter it here. And you can trust to import these tokens. So there you can see I now have Tether USDT there. If it was a token that was not in this list of imported tokens, you would need to get the contract address and put it in custom token here. So they're giving you a warning. So you do need to be careful that you trust the party that's sharing the contract address with you. So get it from the project's official site, because it's easy to create a fake token, and once you start signing transactions with that fake token, then you can get phished very easily. If you go to Etherscan, and there's some other tools like Dex Tools that provides the contract addresses, you can actually verify some of the token addresses. You can look for any token here, and you see this blue check mark that will indicate that this is the official token. I'm just using this as an example. So here you see the token contract, and you would copy this, and then you would just input this here. And obviously it says the token has already been added, but that's how you would input a custom token if it was not showing up in the list of tokens to import. Also, you can swap directly in MetaMask now. So as I said previously, you would have to use an automated market maker such as Uniswap or SushiSwap. But here we can swap between numerous tokens. And as I said, if you don't see the token populate here and you trust the party, you can always input the token here. So now if I want to get some chain link tokens, I can simply swap between this. So I'll input the amount of Ethereum that I want to spend. And it's getting quotes from a number of providers. So the providers it's getting the quotes from are those decentralized applications, the automated market makers such as Uniswap, SushiSwap, and there's numerous more. So it's going to give you the best price. And it's saying I don't have enough, so let's just change the price and see if well, the reason that it's doing this is because to swap tokens takes a lot more gas than simply sending a token. At the moment, the network is very busy, so it's expensive to do this. So we're just going to skip this for now. But this is how you would do it. And as I said, if you see the network is congested and it's really expensive, then you might want to wait until it's less congested and get a better price. But generally, it is much more expensive. I mean, you can probably expect to pay between $10 and up to swap tokens. So I mean, it only makes sense to swap tokens if you're doing a decent amount. It doesn't make sense to swap $30 worth of tokens if you're gonna pay $10 for fees. But to do that, you would simply click here, swap, and it will just automatically go ahead and swap your tokens. And then you would trade ETH tokens for Link tokens, and you can switch the direction as well. Now the next thing I'll tell you about are the different networks, because there's a lot of decentralized applications and Web3 websites that you can use on the Ethereum network, but there are also plenty of others on different networks. And as I said, Ethereum can interact with any EVM compatible blockchain, of which there are many, and even now some non-EVM compatible blockchains. So if we just click over here, so we already have these two networks. Now this will be shown as off, show test networks. Click this on, just because there's a lot of incentivized test nets that are going on currently. That's where you can use, it's a test net, so they're not real tokens, but they will actually, there's test nets that give you rewards for testing out their protocol, and those can be very lucrative, and we'll be filling you in on some of those. So I would go and just show the test networks. Now to add a network, we simply click here, and there's a list of networks that you can automatically just add. We'll be using a lot of these, so you can pretty much go ahead and add all of these. It's just as simple as clicking on it and confirming it. You can also add all of this information here manually. And you can either switch or stay on the current network. There's one network, there's one blockchain at the moment, Pulse Chain, that's actually a fork of Ethereum, and it has a very high chance of increasing in price. There's a lot of building going on at the moment. It's poised to take a good market share, so I would go ahead and add that. So that's something you're going to have to add manually. So you can go to pulsechain.com. I already have it added, but I'll just show you here. And here is a bridge where you can actually bridge assets from Ethereum to the Pulse Chain network. So you can actually, they would wrap that asset. So Ethereum, for example, if you wanted to send Ethereum to the Pulse Chain so that you can use it, swap there, you would, it would wrap it, and then you would send it over to the Pulse Chain network. Now Pulse Chain uses their own token as gas, Pulse, but you can bridge over any asset like Ethereum, Bitcoin, pretty much any token to that network that will allow you to swap between assets on there. So you can simply click Add Pulse Chain to MetaMask. And you'll get the prompts. It's asking me to switch because I already have it installed, but just follow the prompts to add it there. Or as I said, it will give you the information and you can manually enter it when you go to add network. And you can do this for any network that you don't see listed here. That will be done by adding a network manually, and then you would add in the information that they gave you. Now, as far as the bridge allows you to bridge back and forth between the networks. As I said, some of the networks like Pulse Chain, you'll have to use a bridge that they develop themselves or a third-party bridge. But MetaMask does natively support bridging between certain networks. And you can learn a lot more here. I advise you to take the time out and read about this. But as I said, these are just ways to transfer tokens that are native to one platform into another. And here are some of the tokens. So here are some of the networks that you can bridge back and forth to. And as I said, you can add some more. So here you can send from one network to another, and then you would choose the token you want to send. That can be either Ethereum or quite a number of tokens here that they natively support. And the interesting thing here is that you can send one token and actually receive a different token. And they would route, and that would all take place in the background. They give you the option to add gas on Optimism first, because if you have just set up a new network, you likely won't have any gas on there unless somebody sends it to you. And this way, it will just automatically send a bit there, and that would enable you to receive. I don't believe it costs to use the bridge, but to receive, you have to pay. And you would just enter the amount that you wish to spend. So you do need gas to send. You may or may, I believe you need a bit to receive as well, but I believe this does this automatically. And here you see they use third parties to do this bridge. So once it calculates it, it'll show you the price, and this all gets done behind the scenes. So they use third-party bridges. Here they're using the seller bridge, and all the fees to send and receive the tokens will be calculated down here. Now I'm not going to do this because, as I said, at the moment gas fees are very high. It does cost quite a bit more to bridge tokens, especially in this case I'm bridging from one network to another, but also from one token to another. So there's quite a few things going on behind the scenes there that increase the price. And the network fees are quite high at the moment, but I'm just showing you what's possible. Now to execute this, you would simply press on confirm, and this would send those assets over to the Optimism network. Now, as I said, we can quickly swap between networks here. So we would just go here. We don't have this one added yet, so we add the Optimism network. And then we would just click here to switch to Optimism network. And here this is going to work exactly the same as I showed you so far. So you can do everything that we were doing on the Ethereum network, but we'll be on Optimism now. So you can import tokens, you can send, buy and sell, and do everything that we just previously did on MetaMask. So that's pretty much it for now. We've covered most of the topics. We'll be showing you some of the protocols and decentralized applications, the Web3 applications that we are currently using. But there you have the basics: how to send, receive, how to send and receive on different networks, how to bridge assets over from one network to the other, how to buy directly from the MetaMask portfolio using bank transfer, credit, debit cards, without having to sign up at any centralized exchanges. We'll cover some of the other things like NFTs. You can send and receive NFTs. Also how to use some of the different DeFi protocols so that you can lend, borrow, get paid to stake and provide liquidity, amongst other things. We'll be covering those in future episodes. And as I said, if you want to learn more about MetaMask, go ahead, read the documents. But for now, you should have a pretty good understanding of the basics of using the MetaMask wallet. If you find this information helpful, please like, subscribe, and comment. Look forward to seeing you on another episode.